Let's do a little 15-minute follow along mobility session. I'm not going to edit any of this, so you're just going to do it with me. We'll do 15-minute kind of full body mobility session just to loosen up a little bit. Nothing hectic. We'll start up at our neck and work our way down. Okay, so you don't need any equipment for this, all just body weight. A mat would be handy if you had it, but if you don't, you'd be grand. You can do this from home or in the gym, wherever works for you. So we're going to start off, we're just going to do some neck circles. Start off, this is clockwise, isn't it? Just working through full range of motion at the neck. Then we'll rotate back the opposite direction. Try not to knock the mic off myself. So we'll work about 30 seconds through each exercise. If it's a single arm or single leg exercise, we'll do 30 seconds on each side. And we're just going to do some scapular carries, or scapular shoulder blades. So we're going to lift the shoulders up, roll forward, drop the arms down, nice and relaxed, pull back, shoulder blades back together, up. So we'll do 8 full circles there. If there is any area in particular that I'm working on and you feel like it is extra tight, feel free to pause and just spend a little bit longer on that, or go back to that area at the end. Take note of where you're feeling a bit tighter. We'll do the same then, going back the opposite direction. So rolling forward first, then shrugging up, control back, down. Let's loosen out the shoulders. A lot of us carry a lot of tension in the shoulders and neck area. Upper trap, neck tightness pain is one of the most common injuries you'll see if you work in a private practice. Probably a lot of it being lifestyle related, I imagine. Okay, shake the arms out a little bit. So we're going to go hands out to the side. So we're just going to go 10 reps, internally rotating the shoulders, thumbs pointing down, rotating out, pushing the armpits forward as much as possible. I hope the sound quality is not bad on this because the mic keeps hitting off my double chin. Trying to avoid it, so if I am making weird neck or face postures, just ignore that. You don't need to do that too. Okay, so from there, this next one takes a little bit more coordination. So same moving pattern, except one thumb is going to be up, one is going to be down. We're going opposite directions with the shoulders. Going through internal, external rotation in position of abduction at the shoulder. So 90 degrees abduction here. So abduction is just when the arms away from the body. My shoulders are tired. A lot of training the last few days. Shake the arms out a little bit. So in this position, 90-degree bend at the elbow, arms up, a 90-degree abduction. Just going to rotate as far as possible. Back. So next time when we go back, we're going to rotate back, reach as far up as we can, come back in, max external rotation, down, max internal rotation. A lot of you might struggle in this position, especially if you have a rounded mid-back. You struggle to get into that full external rotation position. Okay, so we can go hands overhead, fingers interlocked, palms pointing to the ceiling. We're going to go for a few side bends as far as possible. So you should feel this from the armpit all the way down to the iliac crest, the hip bone. My fupa hanging out. Just go for a few reps each side, nothing hectic. Deadlifts earlier today, I can feel it in the lower back. Again, if you do this and you feel like there's some exercise, you're like, didn't really feel much there. And then there's more where you're like, yeah, that felt nice. Just take note of those ones and include them in your mobility routine. So just going to go some nice slow spinal flexion now, keeping the legs as straight as possible. Trying to get the hands all the way down to the ground. Control back up. Reaching overhead, reaching back, control back down. Nice and slow. Relaxing into that, trying to get the palms all the way to the floor. Up. Reaching back. I don't know if you'll be able to hear the music in the background because I have this mic on, hopefully not. I don't know what the playlist is. I don't know if YouTube does what TikTok does and marks it as copyright if there's music on it and then takes the sound off. Hopefully that doesn't happen either. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna do some monkey squats here. I was gonna call them zombie squats. So monkey squats, we're gonna stay as relaxed as possible in the upper body. So everything you'd be advised not to do if you're doing a regular squat, basically. So regular squat stance, and you're just gonna let everything round as you squat down, getting as low as possible into that position. Standing back up with that rounded back again. Nice and relaxed through the spine. Squatting down as low as possible, letting everything relax nicely. Back up. Do a few more of those. Okay, and you might feel some tightness in the ankle or the hip or that here. Again, take note of that. You can work a little bit more on that yourself. We'll be going through a little bit for that too. Okay, our last one, we're going to stay down in this position. We're going to go hands on the feet, rotate. Do 6 reps each side. Just realizing how sore my legs are now from the DOMs. Probably hear me sniffing as well. Sinuses are an all-time low. Ooh. Okay. I'm hoping this phone is at an okay angle, so we'll be able to see everything. So we're going to move downwards now onto a little bit more hips. So obviously working the hips with the squats. Going to do some stretches for the groins, open out the hips a little bit. Just have a bit of an angle so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So we're going to get you to go. You probably need a mat for this, or maybe like 2 cushions on your knees. So go as wide as you can with your knees here. So you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch into these adductors, the groin muscles. What we're going to do, you're going to sit the bum back as far as you can onto your heels. Walking your hands forward as if you're doing the dirty to the floor. Coming back, sitting all the way back down, pushing forward. Again, you should feel a really nice stretch into the groin, especially as you come forward. If you're not feeling a stretch, try go a little bit wider with those knees. I certainly am feeling it. Okay, sticking with the same theme, the groins and the hips. We're going to stay in this position. We're going to bring the feet out slightly. You're going to lean forward and we're going to lift one foot. See the way I'm lifting that foot up there? Into hip internal rotation. We're going to do the same on both sides. Alternating side to side. If you can, if you want to try both legs at the same time, a little bit more efficient. Or else you can stick with one at a time. For myself personally, my left hip is way tighter. I have a lot of pinching, probably a bit of impingement in that left hip. So again, just take note of yourself where you're feeling it a little bit more. Into our pigeon stretch now, one that you've probably done before. We're going to do pigeon stretch with walk arounds. So getting the foot right through. Femur should be in a straight line with your torso. Leaning forward, so you should feel it into the glute area here. And we're going to walk the hands around as far as possible. Might feel a little bit in lower back, more in the glute. So we'll do a few reps each way. And if there are any specific mobility routines or injuries that people have that they want me to do longer form content on, let me know. I'm going to try do a little bit more when I have some time. Although I don't have a lot of time, so I'm trying to fit it in where I can. I'm currently doing this in a half-an-hour cancellation slot. I was going to go for a walk for my mental health, but I suppose that can wait. Same on the opposite side then, into that pigeon stretch position. I can't get as deep in this side. It just feels a lot tighter. But just go with what you have. And feel free to take screenshots of these exercises and take notes yourself to make a list of a mobility routine personalized to you. I've been doing plenty more of them anyway. Oh, good bit in already. So we're going to do a little bit of hip flexor hamstring work here now, key, especially for you office workers, tech bros sitting down all day. So we're going to go into our classic hip flexor stretch position. So 90-degree angle, the knee straight at the hip. Gonna rock forward, really pushing this hip through, so you should feel a big stretch in the hip flexor. Then we're gonna sit back, bring the front toe up towards yourselves, leaning forward, so in the hamstring here. I'm just gonna rock forward and back through those two positions, from the hip flexor to the hamstring. Again, I'm very tight into those hips today. What's everybody training for at the minute? Just life in general? I know a lot of people are doing high rocks at the minute. I've one in a few weeks, which am I dreading? Individual one? Kind of. I'd probably rather be doing that as a pair. It's in Poland, so it's a weekend away nonetheless. Swap sides there. I was doing walking lunges today, so my kneecap is bruised, so this is not the most comfortable position to be in. So excuse the facials. I won't just push as far forward here. Getting those toes as far back up as you can, extending this knee fully. Ouch. Really hope the sound works on this, the new mic, because I am not re-recording. Okay, I was going to do a little bit more of a quad stretch then. So back in this hip flexor position, I'm going to grab the back leg, lifting up. If you're going to do one arm, that's fine. If you can go 2 arms, you get a bit of a better stretch. And then try squeeze the glute on this leg here. So you're pushing the hip through a little bit more. So again, you should feel it down into this area. This is going to stretch your bias, your rectus femoris a little bit more. So it's biarticular muscle that acts as a hip flexor and the knee extensor. Okay, I'm not going to do it on this side because my knee is killing me. It's definitely swollen. Okay, we'll do one more hip exercise. We're going to do some hip 90-90s with a bit of a hinge. So in this position, if you have to use your hands, we'll do that, make it a little bit easier. Hands behind you, rocking back. As we come over, hinging forward, back up, rotate around, hinge forward. If you want to make that more difficult, we can go hands free, hands behind the back, rocking forward, controlled over, rocking forward. That might be something you have to build up to. I never used to be able to do that, so I haven't done that in a while. I've impressed myself. So go a few reps each side. But again, if you need to, just pop the hands on the ground and you can build up to that hands-free position then. Okay, just a little bit of ankle work then to finish. I did say I'd go from head to toe, neck, back. I won't finish that. So we're just going to get into this position, sitting on our feet, hands behind us, and we're just going to rock up and down, a few ankle rockers, open up the front of the ankle a little bit. If you have any Achilles issue, this might pinch a little bit, so you might want to avoid that position. You might want to lift your hips up a little bit. Last one then, we're going to do a little bit of just ankle mobilization. So in this position, you're going to have your hand on your heel, keeping your heel on the ground. You're going to rock knee forward over your big toe, knee forward over your middle toe, knee forward over your baby toe. And we're going to push the knee as far forward as we can using the opposite forearm. Trying to get into max dorsiflexion. So dorsiflexion is moving where your knee goes over your toe. Keeping that heel on the ground as we do so. can also use your chest like this if you like. Add a little bit more load, or else a dumbbell or kettlebell. And just play around with that. See where you feel more tightness. I personally feel more tightness when I go over my big toe. I have a few issues with my flexor hallucis longus. Most of that tendon runs down behind the medial malleolus there, so I need to do a little bit more work on that area. We'll finish off on the opposite side then. So if this is something you enjoyed or something you find useful, make sure you subscribe. And again, if you have any questions or if there's any other particular content you'd like to see, make sure to let me know. I put a lot more on Instagram as well. So if you want, feel free to follow me there. It's James Green HPA. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed and hopefully you feel a little bit looser after that. But yeah, if you have any requests for injury rehabilitation you'd like to see there, let me know, because that's the bread and butter. Hopefully that turned out okay.